Hey folks, Mike McGee here. In today's video, we're going to talk about an invasive species. It's not just an invasive species, man-made invasive species. In 1963, some brainy government scientists decided we need to develop a tree. So what did they do? They were from Prince George County, Maryland. I kind of blame you, Mr. Duncan, for this. I don't even know if you were around in 63. But whether you were or not, I hold you responsible. They went to China and got their root stock, and they come up with this thing called a Bradford pear. And right now, this time of year is the only time of year it's easy just to drive down the road and spot them just growing everywhere. At one point in time, I worked for a nursery digging Bradford pears so that the nurseryman could sell them. We dug them, we put them in the burlap ball, on the root ball, and we did all that. Well, since then, at that time I thought they were hybrids and they couldn't reproduce. Since then, I come to find out that birds are spreading them everywhere. They are taking over. There is nothing really good except for a little bit of bird food, and of course the bees can use it, but they take over the landscape so terrible that it leaves your property good for nothing. Deer can't even live on it. They might go in there and hide, but there will be nothing for them to eat. So Bradford pears are actually extremely invasive and extremely hated by what you would call naturalists, I guess, and people that do not want invasive species taken over our natural forests. So today, we're gonna cut some down. If you wait and all the white blooms come off, then you can't readily identify them as easily. They still are identifiable. You can still, if you know what you're doing, but you can't look at it all the way across the field and say, oh, there's one over there. So they're starting to lose their blooms already. You can see here, they're floating all over the water of my pond, but they still have some blooms on them, enough to where we can spot them. We've got to get the chainsaw, we've got to cut them up. They make decent firewood, not the best. We'll make firewood out of all this, but right now, our main goal is to get them on the ground. Let's do it. One down. That was actually 4 trees right there I just cut. Let's go find some more. All right, we just found another one here. Look at that. People love them because they're beautiful in the spring, but that beauty only lasts about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then all these fall off, and all you're left with is the green leaves. And they just spread like wildfire, so we're cutting them down. I want to be clear, some people might get these confused with a dogwood. Dogwoods are about to bloom here in a week or so. They're not dogwoods. I don't want you running around chopping dogwoods down. They are an extremely good, native, very famous, popular tree, at least in the southeast where I live, and they have the hardest, densest wood. They grow very slow. Not these guys. They have a soft wood, they grow fast. Here's what the bloom of a dogwood looks like. It is extremely, extremely good, and there's a blight going around killing dogwoods anyway, so we need to save all we can. I wish the blight was hitting these guys, and it's not. So I have to be the blight that hits them. I'm cutting them down. I'm going to guess that they'll sprout back. I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing they'll sprout back. That's something we'll have to deal with later, but for now we're going to cut them down. You feel that puff of wind blow?
Yeah.
That was perfect. It just pushed it right down where I wanted it. All right, that one is done. This time of year with the blooms on them, they're so easy to spot. We're gonna go around and see if we can spot some more. I know where a really big one is. That's probably the parent of all these. I should have took care of it years ago and I failed to. I didn't understand how invasive they were. It's time to start cracking down. All right, we're here at the hunting property. You can see my deer blind right there. Right there is one coming up, and I'm sure it came from seed from the big mothership that we're fixing to cut down after this. But I got to get in here and cut this one down. It's just going to spread, and as you see, this habitat here is good for quail, good for turkeys laying on eggs, not laying on eggs, laying eggs and sitting on them in this kind of habitat. Really good for rabbits. But once that takes over and completely shades out, all of this good cover goes away, and then all you got is these trees, sticks coming up out of the ground and bare dirt. So we can't have that. We like our wildlife. So I gotta get cutting these things. We like to hinge cut these trees. See this? You can see right here where we hinge cut that, bend it over. It keeps living and it doesn't just keep shooting sprouts out that way. And if it does die, it probably will not sprout out. But it's okay when you bend it over like that. It creates habitat zones. See how the grass grows up over it? And then right there, it's empty where animals can get in, and you can tell they have. There's been plenty of animal using this place. We just now spotted, when we was driving around looking for these trees, we just spotted a whole flock of turkeys. So we know we're doing good in that area. This here is privet. It's another invasive. Just hinge cut it and smash him down like that. And sometimes it works. All right, let's go. Oh, that's gonna be fun. This one here is what I call the big mothership. You can see it's definitely Bradford pear, but it's not a Bradford pear that was purchased at a nursery and brought and planted here. This came from somewhere, and it's older than any Bradford pear around these parts. I've got neighbors around here that have a couple or one, but they're obviously like 15 years old or less. This one here looks like it's 20 years old. I don't know. And since it's not from the original stock that is grafted, it's something else. I don't know if it is the one. I don't know if it reverts back to original. It doesn't have thorns on it. The original one from China had thorns all over it. So I've seen that when we would have some come out and sprout under the root stock, from the root stock under the graft. They would be very thorn laden, very bad. I'm gonna try to drop this thing back in that way so we don't have to do cleanup. And then later, the boys can come in and cut firewood. There's actually a good bit of firewood in this one. right, this will give you a chance to see what the wood looks like. Not bad looking wood, really. It's a pretty wood. We're going to find out how hard it is and how good it burns. It actually feels fairly hard. You know what? Bradford pear might be a good tree to smoke bacon with. I may have to do a Bradford pear smoked bacon video. If anything would do it, this wood. Plenty of moisture to smoke good. Well, this is the mothership. We've got it knocked down. I see quite a few more around, and I think we need to knock them down real quick. Bradford pear is not the only invasive species we've got. These right here, you may already know what this is. This is called autumn olive. Extremely invasive. The only good thing is they do produce berries. I have actually made jelly out of the berries. It's supposedly very, very high in good nutrition, but I'm talking about they are taking over this property. I've already come through with a track hoe and a backhoe 2 different times and dug up these trees, and you see, I mean, they're just coming up everywhere in here. I'm gonna have to bring another backhoe in and dig up more of them, or just cut them down and dig them up the next time. I don't know. They're raunchy. I think I see it right there. All right, we're in this thicket. Basically had to cut our way in because the briars. There's at least 4 Bradford pears right here that I can see. It's a vexation. This right here, this is a actual dogwood tree. This is the tree we want here. It's not gonna spread like wildfire. It's not gonna take over. We got clumps of them growing around. Squirrels eat the seeds of the dogwood. I've seen that many times. Well, I'm gonna cut these trees real quick. these thorns are getting me good. Oh, don't want to use all the gas out of my saw. This one was hard to get to. I see another one standing right there. Hey. You see it?
Yeah.
Let's go back and try to, I don't know. This is rough in here. One more that I know about here. Get it cut real quick. When you watched us rabbit hunting with longbow banjo, a lot of them rabbits, basically all of them before lunch, came out of this thicket. So we want this thicket to remain good habitat for rabbits because we don't want longbow banjo to get what's the right word for it? When disillusioned. Yeah, disillusioned. It's hard to always think of the right word, but we don't want longbow banjo to get disillusioned and stop coming to hunt. Yeah. I cut him, but he ain't gonna fall. He came off the stump and he's sitting on the ground. And he can just stand there. All right, let's go. Purple. Yikes. So many of them. Well, I think that's it on this property. We hope, I'd bet you $1 million there's more grown on this property. We just ain't spotted them yet. But we cut the ones we could spot. If we spot more, we'll cut more. If you have them on your property and you care about the wildlife or you care about basically anything, go by what the true arborists say and the true land managers. They say cut them down, prune them flush with the ground is what they say. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.